Inhaling, exhaling, relaxing, releasing. Sometimes people like to have a hand on the chest and a hand on the belly, which is fine. Just kind of letting your breathing have its voice. So kind of being curious about it. It's kind of like a listening or there's a gentle curiosity there. How is my breathing feeling right now? Where is it? Do I feel it more in the low chest? Do I feel it down in my low ribs? Do I feel it down in my abdomen? Just having that curiosity. And what they find, the research out there says that as the breathing, as we breathe a little lower in the body, maybe that's associated with the parasympathetic nervous system and kind of having the rest and digest and restore response kind of kick in. So typically it's a nice place to be. Good. And then when you can feel ready, letting your eyes lift, letting your eyes open. Palms can be down on the ground here at your sides. And on your inhale, let your right leg reach up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, releasing it back down. Inhale, let your left leg reach up towards the ceiling. Releasing back down. So just like this, one leg at a time, nice and strong. Lifting into things and releasing. Good. One more set. Doing the right leg and then lifting into the left leg. Good. And then releasing down. Okay. So on your inhale, see if your head can lift, your shoulders can lift, and you can reach through your fingertips and point your toes. And then on your exhale, just kind of releasing. Once again, same thing. Inhale, lift your head, your chest, your shoulders, pointing through your toes and fingers. Exhale, release. Good. Inhale once again, lifting and releasing. Good. Last one. And releasing. Good. And then let your feet come down to the floor and then let your knees come in towards you here. So you can have your knees in and then let your knees fall to the right side. And you might have your right hand on top of that left leg. Left arm can reach out to the side. So coming into a comfortable twist here. Noticing how that feels, kind of being curious about it. Letting your breathing happen too. Good, and then you can release out, bring your legs back up, and then let your legs come over towards the left side. So the left hand may be on top of the right leg, and then the right arm can reach out. So feeling this twist on that side. Kind of like easing into it or softening into it. Good. And then when you're ready, releasing out again, coming back up. Okay. And then link your fingers around your right knee, pressing out through your left leg and rocking all the way up into sitting. Okay. So comfortable cross-legged position here. And hands can be on your knees. And then just thinking about rotating a little bit in your upper body. So feeling that turn, that rotation. Good. And then coming the other way too. Okay, good. And then coming back and have the soles of your feet together out in front of you. And think about tapping from kind of the soles of your feet up your inner legs and then kind of into your chest and then up below your collarbones. So do that a couple of times, padding up through the inner legs and then up through the collarbones. So that's the kidney channel. We're looking, the winter is kidney time. I'm not sure if you can see this, but here's our kind of like a model of our guy. He's showing you the kidney channel there. So from the, I know it's not very dark, but from the sole of the foot, kind of up the inner leg into the trunk and then below the collarbone there. So just tap a couple more times. It kind of begins to stimulate and get things moving and free in the kidney channels here. Just doing it maybe one more time. Good. And then just legs can still stay like a diamond. Hands can be on your knees or on your ankles or feet. And then you can kind of begin to lean forward through the crown of your head. And you might just stay here, or you might let your chin tuck a little bit, let your spine round, like you're going to put your forehead in your feet. And you can probably feel that a little through the inner legs and maybe on the outsides of the hips too. Just kind of softening, breathing, being in your sweet spot. And your sweet spot's going to be a little bit different from everybody else's sweet spot. Good. And then releasing out, taking the outsides of your legs, drawing your knees in, and then flopping your legs a little side to side. And then let your right foot come on the inside of your left leg and see if you can maybe diagonally out through the left leg. So you kind of feel your hips on the ground and you might push against the left leg a little. Right arm reaches up and then exhale, kind of sliding towards the left, coming into a side stretch. And if that's uncomfortable, you can always be in cross-legged and do the same thing. Good. One more breath. And then releasing, coming out. And then maybe you can kind of square off your torso with your right leg. You might let your left knee bend. And it's kind of like the inside of the leg, the inside of the foot is kind of on the ground. And then just squaring off with the right knee. And then you may be able to kind of lower your body down. You might even have your elbows on the ground or just kind of putting some weight on the right leg maybe, kind of feeling a stretch through the outer hip there. Good breathing. That's it. And then releasing, coming back up. And then just see if you can come and rest on your right side. So maybe your right hand is under your head here, and the legs are one on top of the other. And then with your left hand, often we'll make this L shape in the hand. So just think about, you might even have your hand on the back of your neck or the base of your skull there. And you're just kind of shooting up. So you can imagine you've got like a water gun or a super soaker, and you're just kind of shooting up. And then you might even let the arm kind of hang back a little. And this might mean you kind of look down towards the ground as you reach away. Kind of opening into your shoulder, into your chest, letting things soften here. Good, one more breath. And then releasing. And then if it's comfortable for you, you may be able to take the top of the foot in the hand and just kind of pulling kind of a quad stretch here, kind of pulling the heel back towards your glutes. If you need to take a break and shake out for a moment and then do it again, you can. Good. And then releasing out, and then being on your back with your knees bending, feet on the floor, hip distance, palms down at your sides. Inhale, and then exhale, pressing up through your hips, lifting into your hips, your back. So a nice strong bridge position here. Kind of opening through the front of your body. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then releasing down. Let your knees come in and just kind of hugging your knees or holding your knees or swaying in your knees a little. And then again, link your fingers around your right knee, pressing out through your left leg, rocking all the way up into sitting. Okay, so again, comfortable cross-legged position. This time, left foot is going to come on the inside of your right thigh. Okay, maybe diagonally out through the right leg, and you can push against it with the hand, turn. So inhale, left arm up, and then exhale, you can begin to curve to side stretch towards the right. Noticing how that feels, kind of being curious. Where do you feel it in the side of your body? Do you feel it in your waist? Do you feel it in those intercostal muscles, those little muscles that connect your ribs? Do you feel it in your shoulder? Just kind of making room or allowing it to happen. Good. And then releasing out. And then think about coming, kind of squaring off with the left knee. So again, the right knee can bend if you want, and you can have the inside of the foot, the leg on the ground, and then rooting down through your left hip, squaring off your torso with your left leg. And then you might kind of begin to come forward. You might bring your elbows down, just kind of putting maybe a little bit of weight into your left leg. You might feel that in your outer hip there, your outer leg. Softening into it, breathing. Good. And then again, you can release out of it for a moment and then just resting on your left side. Okay, so legs are stacked and your hand can be under your head or kind of at the base of your skull. And then once again, with your right arm, just make that L shape. Try to keep the L shape shooting up through that water gun. pointing forward through the thumb. And then maybe the arm kind of comes back. And you might continue to look up, or you might have your hand on the side of the head now as you look down towards the ground. Kind of opening through that right shoulder, your arm, your chest. Good. 3, 2, 1, and then release again. And then if the right leg is feeling okay, you can kind of take the top of the foot in the right hand and just kind of stretching through your quad there. You may need to ease off of it a little and then come back into it. Good. And then releasing. And then again, being on your back with your knees bending, feet on the floor, and arms at your sides. And then once again, pressing down through your feet, once again, lifting into your hips. So making a bridge. You can always link your fingers together and walk your shoulders together if that feels good. Some people like to do that, or just staying where you are, nice and strong. Good. 3, 2, 1. And then again, releasing. Once again, knees drawing in. You can hold your knees or hug your knees or sway in your knees. And then just shaking out. Hands and feet, fingers and toes up towards the ceiling, shaking everything out. And then again, link your fingers around your right knee, pressing out through your left leg, rocking all the way up into sitting, and then coming into some form of a frog squat. Okay, so like a crouch position. So you can be low here if you want. I've got my heels lifted, that's fine, or heels can be down. Or if that feels a little bit much, you can always be a little higher and just have your hands on knees, bending knees, or your elbows on your knees. That's it, just kind of opening through your legs, kind of stretching into it. Again, this is kind of getting those kidney energy channels which flow up through the inner legs into the trunk. If you want to explore balancing, you can always have your arms on your legs or palms together, or you can make kind of like a floating hat over your head, arms drawing back, just if that feels good. That's it. Taking a couple of breaths. Good. And then you can release and come all the way up into standing. Okay, so coming up into standing, and if you need to bounce out a little bit or shake out a little bit, you can. Okay, and we're doing a set adjustment. Okay, Hollywood set adjustment here. Okay. Okay, I'm just like an inch or two too tall for that. Okay, so we've got the bladder energy channel. So in the winter, we're looking at the kidneys and the bladder. We've been doing work on those. So the bladder energy lines, they come from your eyes here, and you can even begin to tap. You kind of tap from your eyes up your forehead to the crown of your head, and then down the back of your neck, and then down the sides of your spine, down your glutes, and then down your legs to kind of the outsides of the feet. Okay, so do that a couple of times from the head there, the eyes, up the skull, the back of the neck, down the sides of the spine, the backs of the legs, into kind of the outsides of the feet. Doing that a couple more times. I'll just show you our little person here. See, he's got the that line from his eye up the crown of the head. And then those lines, they actually split and they come down the side of the spine there, through the glutes, into the back of the leg, and to the outside of the foot. So just kind of stimulating those bladder channels a little bit. kind of patting, doing maybe one more set. Good. And then you can see why a forward bend would really help to stretch into the backside of the body and really get those bladder channels going. So let's do that. So feet can be hip or shoulder distance. Knees can bend maybe to start, hands on bending knees. And then you can, maybe you lower down to your elbows, or maybe you can fold all the way down into it. Looking back between your legs, you're welcome to bend, tuck your chin. So just really feeling that in the back of the body here. And, if we've got these energy vessels or these energy channels happening, where is the tension? Where might there be a little bit of holding in the back side of the body? And then just putting your awareness there. You might need to soften in, ease off of it a little bit. And just how would it be to have things really kind of flowing and moving and in a very open place versus being kind of closed and uh, locked up, which we have a tendency to do in different ways. So breathing always can help. Breathing helps with this opening process. Just taking one more breath. Good. And then knees can bend and you can inhale and roll your body all the way up into standing. Okay. And then just do a few shoulder circles. So inhale, shrugging up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale up. Back and down. Couple more. Up. Back and down. Up. Back and down. Good. Step a little wider than shoulder distance. Knees are soft. And then just let your arms and your body swing a little bit. Nice and loose. So your feet might stay planted, or what I'm doing is I'm lifting off in the heel each time, kind of coming onto my tippy toes. So you can do it that way too. Good, and then gently coming back to center here. Okay, and then think about your feet angling out at 45-degree angles, knees bending in line with your toes here. And a little bit of a tuck in your belly. So again, you're kind of opening through the kidney system here, up the inner legs there, into the trunk. And palms can come together as you just kind of settle into it, feeling that grounding. Taking a couple of breaths. Good. And then with your left hand, draw an imaginary bowstring. Right hand makes the L shape. So on your inhale, you're still kind of in that strong grounded stance. And on the inhale, you bring it out. There it is. Exhale, palms together. Inhale again. Draw the bowstring with the left. Look into the notch where your arrow would go. Exhale, release. Good. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Just for a moment, lengthen into your legs. Step your feet in together and then just kind of shake out into your legs a little bit here. Okay. So about hip or shoulder distance in your stance, and then just do kind of a movement in your shoulders. Sometimes it can take a little while to just really soften into your whole torso and lift into one shoulder and then the next. You might inhale into one and then exhale into the other. Just imagine that you've got like a lot of kind of open space or like a rubberiness to you. There's a lot of potential there. Really opening into the fascia, the connective tissue, through the heart area, through the lung area. You might even feel it in your belly a little bit. Good. One more set. That's it. Okay. And then shake out. And then once again, come wide. So once again, find that kind of power energy stance here. Feet angling out, knees bending in line with your toes, tucking in your tummy. And then again, just for a moment, palms can be together, getting a sense of your strength here, your grounding. And then right hand can draw the bowstring, left hand can make the L. So inhale, looking towards the left. Exhale, palms coming together. Inhale once again, looking. Exhale together. Inhale. Exhale, continuing to kind of sink into it. Last one, inhale. Good, exhale, release. And then once again, releasing into your legs, step your feet in together. And again, just shaking out for a moment. Okay, and then we'll kind of come forward this time. So feet can be parallel maybe this time. You're always more than welcome, especially if you're kind of a little tender in the lower back or you're trying to be careful. Remember, you can always bend your knees and send your hips back. That's a very good, safe position for your lower back. So on your inhale, you can open, that's it. And then exhale, maybe you come forward a little bit. Hands might be on your knees or elbows on your knees, or you can bring your hands down to the floor here. And you can push down, inhale, lift and lengthen a little bit. And then exhale, maybe you can let gravity kind of help you to release down. So you might tuck your chin, looking back between your legs. You might be bending a little or a lot into your legs here. Just kind of feeling your way into it, feeling your breathing. That's it. Good. And then hands can press down, lift and lengthen for a moment. And then maybe you can just kind of set up a little bit of a side to side sway, or like a seesaw, kind of rocking, that kind of a movement, bending into a knee on one side, lengthening into a leg on the other side. That's it. Good. And then hands can be on bending knees or on your hips. And on your inhale, you can come all the way up again. Good. Step your feet in together. And once again, just kind of shaking out. And then see if you can come down into a high kneeling position. So knees on the floor. And then stepping your right foot out to the side. So if the left knee is sore, you can always put like a blanket or a cushion under it, pillow. And if it hurts your right hip, you can always like bend your knee and turn your foot out if your right hip is cramping or something like that. Okay, or you might be okay with a straight leg. Inhale, left arm's gonna reach up. And then on your exhale, you can begin to kind of curve towards the side. Feeling that side stretch, kind of lifting through the elbow there. You might even find that having your left hand kind of at the left side of your head helps you to really feel into it. So you're kind of lifting through that left elbow. Having a softness there. Sometimes the sweet spot isn't in the, go even more direction. Sometimes the sweet spot, it happens when you ease off of it like half a millimeter or something. Good. And then releasing out, and then left hand comes down to the floor. Okay. And then right arm, making that L shape again. So shooting your water gun straight up towards the ceiling here. So you're welcome to do this And you're welcome to, again, let the arm hang back if that feels good. Or some people like to come into like a side plank position. You're welcome to do that. No forcing. If you do that, the left leg lengthens um, kind of under the right leg, just if that feels good. Welcome to keep the knee on the ground too. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Easy does it. Left knee down, and then seeing if you can come onto all fours, and then coming into some form of a push-up or a plank. So maybe the knees are down and you're in a knee push-up, or maybe the toes are tucking under and you're in a full push-up. Either way, your belly kind of tucking in, nice and strong in your core, your abdomen. 3, 2, 1. Good. Knees coming down, and then lower your body all the way down to the floor. Tops of your feet on the floor, and think about making like the shape of a snake, like a cobra. So on your inhale, kind of lifting into your body a little bit, and then exhale, releasing. Good. Do that 2 more times. So inhale, kind of reaching back through your legs. Exhale. Good. Last one, lifting into it. And releasing. Good. And then from here, pushing up into tabletop, and then let your big toes come together and let your knees splay out, and then sitting back into your heels here. And you may be able to then rest your forehead on the ground or on a pillow or a block. So sinking back, reaching out through your fingers. And again, your breathing's here with you. Good. And then you can come forward again. So again, you're in a tabletop. Make sure the wrists are feeling good. And then when you're ready, see if you can make a mountain shape in your body. So your toes can tuck under, lifting up and back through your hips, looking back between your legs. So again, you're really nourishing the bladder energy system here. Can you feel that? There's very much kind of the back side of the body there, the back and the legs. So kind of letting that happen there. One more breath. Good. And then knees can come down to the floor. Okay. And then once again, just seeing if you can do this kind of this high kneeling position, and we'll come towards with the left leg this time. So the left foot can ground down. So I've got the outside of the foot planted, or if it feels a little bit gritty in the hip there, that's totally okay. Just turn the foot out and bend the knee. You might need a cushion or something under your right knee, and on your inhale, the right arm can reach up, and then on the exhale, just beginning to curve towards the left. And again, you're welcome to ease off of it a little maybe and have the right hand kind of on above the ear on the side of the head. It's like the elbows lifting. You can really kind of feel that in your armpit, your chest, slightly different expression of the side bend. Good, last breath. And then again, easy does it, release. And then right hand can come under your shoulder here. And then same thing, making the L shape, and like you're gonna, like your 007, like you're gonna shoot up towards the ceiling. And this is fine. Or again, you've got that option of letting the arm hang back, opening through the shoulder. Or again, you've got that option, just if it feels okay, you can bring the right foot under the left or kind of behind the left foot, lifting through your left side, kind of like a side, like a slide position. That's it. 3, 2, 1. And then again, right knee comes down, easy does it, coming on to all fours once again here. Okay, and then once again, this time maybe you can do a push-up with the hands down, or maybe this time you can have your elbows under your shoulders, and you can either do an elbow and knee push-up, kind of engaging through your belly, tucking your belly, or you can let the toes tuck under, and you can kind of look down between your arms there. So nice and strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees coming down, and then easy does it, lowering all the way down. And you can have your arms at your sides here. So fingers can point back this time. And on your inhale, lifting into your head, your chest, your shoulders, maybe your arms and legs. Exhale, releasing. Good. Again, inhale, lifting into it. Chin can stay tucking if that feels good. Exhale, release. Inhale, lifting into it. Exhale, release. And on the last one, if you want to stay lifted for a couple of breaths, you can, just kind of staying here. You might even paddle into your feet a little bit, like you're swimming in the ocean. Strong in your glutes, your legs. Good. 3, 2, 1. And then again, releasing. And then hands at your shoulders, pushing up into tabletop. Once again, you can have your big toes come together. Maybe your knees splay out a little bit. And then again, just sitting back into your heels. And maybe the forehead can come down towards the ground again. That's it. And then once again, when you're ready, coming on to all fours. Okay, letting everything settle for a moment. Okay, and then when you're ready, once again, let your toes tuck under and your knees lift. And you can look back between your legs. So again, kind of stretching through the bladder energy area of the body. Good, and then knees can come down to the floor here. Okay, just taking a moment or two. And then come up into a high kneeling position again. Okay, and couple options here. So first option, you can just have your hands coming on to your kind of your lower back or your glutes, fingers pointing down. And you can just think about kind of tucking through your chin a little bit and just kind of drawing your elbows together. So you're kind of opening through the front of your body, no forcing, easy on your back. So that's a good place to go. Some people like to let the toes tuck under back there. And again, if you haven't really done this, go easy or, just explore gently. Sometimes people will kind of have a hand on the heel and then the other hand on the heel. And chin can be tucked or lifted. So just opening through the front of the body this way. So being either in that first one, really drawing your elbows together, or kind of being back a little bit. That's it, opening through your shoulders, wherever you are, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if the hands are on the feet, just kind of reaching out through the right arm and kind of reaching out, coming forward. Okay, and then wherever you are, maybe the legs can be together this time. Just again, sinking down into your heels, forehead again on the floor. And you might have a little bit of a rock going on as you sink into it, kind of balancing things out. Good. And then again, coming up into a kind of a kneeling position. And then you may be able to come forward onto your hands and then let your toes tuck under back there. And you might be able to kind of sit back a little bit into your heels. So this is stretching the arches of your feet. So easy does it, no forcing. You know, you may need to come into it and then release a little, come out of it. But just kind of putting some weight into your heels. Some people will even kind of walk the hands onto the knees or even onto the thighs and do it, just if that feels good for you. Sometimes it can take a little while for the, like, you know, just really having that softening going on in the arches of the feet. And, you know, you're kind of bending your toes back, so you're getting a good toe stretch. Sometimes you may need to come out of it and into it a little bit. So especially in the winter, you know, our toes can get kind of cold and kind of locked up and tight. It's good to kind of nourish the toes and the feet. Good. One more breath. And then release, coming forward into tabletop. And then just lift off in your feet for a moment and kind of shake out. And you might even kind of swish your legs a little bit side to side. Okay, and then from here, coming back into sitting, okay, and seeing if you can be in a comfortable cross-legged position, and then right hand can be on your left leg, left fingertips are palm down behind you. Inhale, lengthening, and then exhale, beginning to twist a little bit towards your left side. Good, and then releasing, coming back, switching your legs, whichever leg's out in front, bring it on the inside, and then switching the direction of your twist. Left hand can be on your right leg, right hand behind you. Inhale, grounding and lengthening. Exhale, beginning to turn to the right. Good, and then releasing out again. And you might rotate a little side to side. Okay, and then think about having, coming towards the front of your mat, perhaps, okay, and having the soles of the feet coming together, and you can kind of pull them in, and there are these kind of energy points that are kind of between the ankle and the Achilles tendon there, kind of, those are some really good kidney points. So you may find you can kind of push into those with your thumbs as you're, you know, you're kind of stretching into it a little bit. So remember that guy, you know, his kidney lines coming up the inner legs, kind of the inside of the ankle there. So kind of stretching through the legs and also kind of pressing in maybe a little to these sensitive areas. You can kind of feel a little bit of a boost, like an energy boost, kind of rushing through your legs if you get the right point there. Just kind of allowing that breathing. Good. And you may just stay here for a couple more breaths, or if you want to explore doing a couple of back rolls, you can do that. A back roll would just kind of be rolling back and then coming up. That's it. You can do maybe 4 or 5 back rolls if that feels good, or you can just stay and really kind of take in the kind of pressing with the thumbs, opening through your knees. Good. Last roll if that's what you're up to. Good. And then taking the outsides of the legs, drawing your knees in, flopping your knees a little bit side to side, and then coming to be on your back here, okay, with your feet together, okay, and then let your palms come together over your head. So you've kind of got the same thing going on in your arms that are going on in your legs. So your elbows are bending pretty deeply. Your knees are bending pretty deeply. There's a little tuck in your belly. It's almost like you're going to bring your lower back flat to the ground. Okay. And then maybe you can try to keep that lower back kind of planted. See if you can lift off in your head and your arms and maybe your shoulders a little bit, kind of looking forward. So strong in your belly. That's it. Planting in the lower back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Releasing for a breath. And then see if you can just, maybe you can lift into the legs a little. You may need to kind of bring the knees in just a little to start, and then see if you can lift your feet and your legs off the ground. So your shoulders and head can stay on the ground, but you're lifting into the lower half. Keep your lower back planted the best you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Taking a breath. And then for the last one, just see if you can, again, tuck your belly, kind of planting your lower back a little more. And maybe you can lift off in the head, the shoulders, the arms, and maybe you can lift off in the legs and feet as well. Kind of looking forward, maybe strong in your tummy, planting in that lower back. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then again, just taking a breath. Good. And then releasing your arms, taking the outsides of your legs, draw your knees in, and then bringing your knees maybe in towards you. And you can sway a little bit in your knees, just kind of rocking a little bit. Good. And then from here, if you have any final things, movements, poses you need to do, go right ahead. Or maybe you just come and rest back in your space on your mat. Legs and arms can be out to the sides. If you need to put on any warm clothes or socks, you can. You can always have a hand on the chest and a hand on the belly, or a couple of hands on the belly with the elbows resting on the ground. And just tuning in once again to your breathing, tuning in to the rising and sinking of the breathing low down in your body, and just letting your breathing flow here. Inhaling, exhaling, releasing, relaxing. Inhaling, exhaling, releasing, relaxing. We did a considerable amount of kind of nourishing and looking after the kidney and the bladder systems in different ways. And we also did other things too. So during these last few minutes, just really being with your breathing, being curious about your body, noticing what you can feel, noticing where the aliveness is really happening for you. Kind of the energy is really able to move around in a very free and open and unhindered way. So just settling back into it, allowing the yoga practice you've done to just permeate every cell of your being. Inhaling, exhaling, releasing, relaxing. Very simple. Inhaling, exhaling, relaxing, releasing, being with the rising and sinking of the breathing in your belly. And when you can feel ready, gently beginning to move into your fingers, moving into your toes. And when you can feel ready in your own time, coming to rest on your right shoulder, on your right side, and eventually coming all the way up into a comfortable seated position. And taking a few final breaths here. Bringing your palms together, rubbing into your palms, tapping from the crown of your head, down the back of your neck, all the way to your lower belly. Grounding and centering here. Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much for spending some time practicing. Drink some water to balance things out and have a wonderful week. Thank you.